Alright guys, I wanted to show you guys about how to remove the subframe on the Jetta TDI. It is a little bit different than some of the other models. I watched another guy's video. He shows taking down the whole thing with the rack connected to it. Let's take a look here on this. So if you look here on the TDI, you've got connectors here for the steering, and he shows on his only just two. So it's a little bit different on the here. So you've got this wire here, you've got all these connected to that go up to here and go all the way up to here. So if you can see that, you've got a lot more wires connected to here. I don't know if which other years are the same, but you might run into the same issue. I decided to, I'm pulling the transmission, okay, because I've got an oil leak. It's the rear mainsail, which is, and again, that's another whole big deal. If you're ever going to do your rear mainsail, make sure you set the timing first. You got to have the timing set right when you pull that thing apart, or you're going to have some issues. And you got to have that box over there on the top of there that has the puller in it, or the, so it's the installation tool. Maybe I'll show that in another video. But anyway, I elected to do, okay, if you're going to do the transmission, there you can use the car jack, and the one that's in the trunk, and you can jack the engine all the way forward. And what you do is you jack it all the way up to where it's just kissing into the fans big time. In fact, you may have to remove the fans on some of them because the air conditioning unit, look how close it is. It's got to be way over, okay? And the reason you do that is because when you put the transmission in, this, trying to think where it is, somewhere in here, you have one hell of a time getting it to go over the subframe. So some guys said remove the subframe, but I removed it because it's so filthy. I just wanted to clean it. All right, so if you wanted to do your transmission and you want to make it a little bit easier on yourself, you could remove the subframe, or you could jack the whole thing forward. If you jack it forward, they show taking it all the way up to the fans. ID Parts has a video on that, and he shows the engine being way forward up to the fans. And what it is to avoid this problem of, when you go to put one of these in, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. This part of the transmission conflicts with that subframe. So either have the subframe out of the way, like I'm doing, or the other. But on this model, you see here, I've got the rack still in place. Now, I could not see how to get this out of here. And I know there's a way to do it. You probably have to go underneath the dash. And who wants to do that, right? To take the thing out and then try and pilot that thing back in the correct position. I know that would be fun, okay? We just know that's gonna happen. So what I like to do is use my rope here and just tie it out of the way to the exhaust with the subframe out of the way. Now, in order to do that, if you were gonna do that, you would remove the sway bar bushings here, leave these in place, okay? All right, and just take out the 4 bolts here. I'll show you which ones they are on the subframe over here. It's really hard to tell with this giant array of bolts underneath here which ones to take out, so I'm gonna show you. It's these 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Those bolts come out. And you can see why I'm taking this out to clean it. It is just, yeah. So if you take out those 4 bolts, you can leave all the wiring connected. Because these little wiring things are kind of tricky to get off, okay? It seems easy, but it's not. Okay, it's typical of Volkswagen stuff. And then this thing has, right here, a 10mm that holds this wiring harness in. So remember that. It's like tucked up right about in here. There's a 10mm on there. So remember that. And then you have the normal, what are they, 6 bolts? 1, 2, 3. This one here is a weird shaped one. 4, 5, 6, the same thing. And then with the sway bar links taken out, the front end drops right down. So it's pretty easy if you leave this guy in. Taking this out with it, I think it's This piece here is heavy, okay? And trying to get that back up, getting it out of the car is probably not too hard. If you unloosen, if you took loose the coupling up above, but getting it back in the car, I'm going to tell you, I think it's going to be a difficult task. We are right or wrong. Some guys' opinions are going to be different on that, but I just wanted to show you guys. I've looked at a few videos on how to remove this thing. It looks really easy until you're doing it. It's not that easy. It's not that hard, but trying to figure out which ones these bolts were in there, because you just can't see up in there, all right, to figure out which ones are holding it on and all that. So once I got it, I was going to take the whole thing out, knowing that that was going to be difficult to put back in. Then I found out that there was more wires on this one. We have these two connectors. The other video shows just two connectors. There's one, two. There's one's way over here. There's a harness that goes all along here. Yeah, you're going to be in for some more stuff on this car. So some models are probably different than others, but this is an 06. So anyway, I thought I'd just make a quick video on this to show you what you might be up against. All right, I'll talk to you in the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe.